Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
Athletics,
Fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
this is our home.
we embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
Yes, and welcome to the Darlington Tiger pregame show. Matt Davis along with Ian Griffin with you, and tonight we're very excited to be back by the lakeside at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium and getting ready for your Darlington Tigers to take on the Bremen Blue Devils. And last week, Ian, it was a victory here at Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington shut out Kings Ridge Christian 27-0. We've talked about how well the defense has played. And when you look back over the course of the last two games, yeah, they shut out Kings Ridge Christian last week, but the week before on the road at Heritage, only 7 points were given up. That was after a block punt and a scoop and score that resulted in those points. So the defense essentially has pitched a shutout in a couple of weeks because they didn't give up the points in that game. So the defense has been absolutely unbelievable the last couple of weeks.
I tell you what, Matt, that all starts up front with Davis Watson, DJ Johnson, Burke Shrimpsher, Luke Lewis. These guys are playing lights out up front. They have shut down their last few opponents, but they're going to have a tougher task in front of them with this Bremen team who's got some size up front. The battle in the trenches is going to be huge tonight.
No question about it. Not only that, when you're looking at a team like the Bremen Blue Devils, they are out of Region 5 AA. One of the first things that jumped off the page at me when I was looking at their roster is the size of it. They've got a lot of kids that dress out for this football team. Now, I don't know if that translates into having a lot of really good football players or whatever the case may be, but nonetheless, they definitely have a lot more guys that dress out for this team than you have with the Darlington Tigers, which you would expect given the nature of them being a AA school coming here to Chris Hunter Stadium to face a single A school. But one of the things that I certainly would see as a common thread between these two teams is they are well coached. We're going to talk about Davis Russell, the head football coach, in detail as we go along throughout our pregame. But the commonality I think you find with a team that's coached by Davis Russell and Tommy Atha is that I think you're going to see a pretty similar work ethic. Both of these teams are going to be blue-collar teams. They're going to get out there and give 100% effort every time they're out on the football field because that's just the way these coaches approach the game. So I think that's one of the things that's going to make this matchup so interesting is the work ethic that you get from these two squads.
Yeah, you're going to see good fundamental football. It's going to be a war of attrition out there, and you talked about that roster size and where that can play as a major advantage for Bremen is in the fourth quarter. If they're able to rotate guys in, especially on their defensive line, matching up against the Tigers, that'll be interesting to watch as the game comes to a close.
No question about it. When you look at Darlington so far this season, putting up impressive numbers on both sides of the ball. They're averaging 30 points a game, giving up just 11.6 for the Bremen Blue Devils. They've had a very good offensive year so far, 34 points a game they're scoring. They are giving up close to 25 points, though. That's certainly something to look for. But when you look at their schedule, they certainly have played some tough teams. So, again, I think it's going to be a really great matchup here tonight between your Darlington Tigers and the Bremen Blue Devils. It's Game 6 of the season, and this is the last non-region tilt that we're going to have until the games that count towards the playoffs start next week, and that'll be hosting Mount Perrin. And so even though I know that Coach Eighth and his coaching staff still feel like there's some business to take care of, some things to tune up as they get ready for region play, you got to know after playing now, this will be the 6th game in non-region, that they are ready to get after some of the teams that are in their own region and start seeing how things are going to shake out towards the playoffs.
And you have to think they're going to be well prepared to do just that, Matt. They've played some tough teams here in these first 6 games, a wide variety as far as the styles of offenses they've gone up against, and they've fared well. Heard County is the only loss on their record. There's no shame in going on the road and losing to the Braves in a game that really, I think you and I both would agree, they had every opportunity to win. So this is yet another opportunity to prepare themselves for region play. The games count, but they really count starting next Friday night.
No question about it, and we pointed this out last week, Ian, but this year in that first round of the playoffs, Region 7A Private, which Darlington is a part of, is going to face off against 6A Private, and Darlington's already played 3 teams out of that region, Lakeview Academy, St. Francis, and then the most recent one being Kings Ridge. So they have, pretty good feel for what that region brings to the table. And the head of the class in that region, without a doubt, is Fellowship Christian, which is a team that Darlington faced in the region championship last year before reclassification took place and kind of shook some things up there. So we know what you get with that particular team. So if at all possible, you don't want to get that number 4 spot and wind up more than likely playing that team. But we'll see how things shake out. I mean, still one more non-region game to go.
Yeah, one win, and Darlington is into the playoffs, but that's not going to quench their thirst for where they want to be at the end of the season, which is in either that 1 or 2 position, which would set them up to potentially make a deep run into the playoffs.
Ian, it looks like our weather is going to be a good bit better than what we had last week. Of course, it was kind of drizzly, a light, steady rain, I guess you'd call it, in the first half. And then the second half, more or less, the bottom fell out, and we just had really, really hard rain for much of that game. And one of the things that was so impressive about that game was the fact that the Darlington Tigers did not turn the football over a single time. In those conditions, I mean, anytime that is a major accomplishment, but particularly when you're playing in conditions like we had last week.
And you were coming off of 2 weeks where those kind of mistakes had really kind of plagued your team. The 2 late turnovers in the first half against Heard County, and then, of course, the blocked punt that was scooped up and taken in for a touchdown at Heritage the next week. So to have a clean card last week is definitely a positive. I know one thing that they really probably focused on in practice is their red zone scoring. While you've got a guy like Brinson Sumner who is just money from the 30-yard line in, as far as putting them through the uprights, you want to get touchdowns, and Darlington has struggled to punch it in, especially when they've gotten a short field. So I'm sure they've been working on that red zone offense. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out, because in a game like this, that's going to be key that they get touchdowns, not field goals.
Well, we're about to see 2 really hard-nosed football teams with great work ethic go after each other, and a fun night coming up here tonight from Chris Hunter Stadium. Really looking forward to this football game. We're going to send it back to the studio for a break. When we come back, if you happen to be listening to the broadcast on the radio side of things, 96.9 FM or 1410 AM, or at our website, WLAQ1410.com, when we come out of the break, we're going to hear from the head coach, Tommy Athas. So if you happen to be watching the video stream, you could just load up another window and listen to that interview. You won't get that over the video, and then switch back when you're done, or however you want to do that. But that's where you'll be able to hear the conversation with head coach Tommy Athas when we come back here on the Darlington Tigers Radio Network on WLAQ. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we are back live here. Very excited to be with you. Hope you enjoyed our conversation with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers, Tommy Atha. And tonight, again, we are by the lakeside at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium, getting ready for your Darlington Tigers to take on the Bremen Blue Devils. And at this point of our broadcast, we're about 10 minutes away from kickoff. So, Ian, why don't we talk a few keys to the game, and I'll go ahead and start it off. And this is a key in every game, but battle in the trenches. And that's always significant, but I pointed out again today, as you already pointed out earlier in our pregame in our first segment, there's some decent size up front, a bigger roster for this team. And so the big guys up front, they're going to have their work cut out for them tonight. And from what we've seen so far, though, I think they're going to be up for the task.
Yeah, absolutely. Darlington's going to look to establish that running game with Harrison Allen, Patrick Shelley in the read option, keep that offense on the field, keep Bremen off the field, and it's going to be a battle up front, Matt, a war of attrition, and the cream will rise to the top in the fourth quarter.
Another one's going to be ball security. We talked about that a lot in our pregame with Coach Athan, how well the team did with that last week in adverse conditions and just a downpour much of the game. But that's always one of those things that's going to be important. They've got to continue that trend in terms of ball security. And the last one is, and Coach Athan pointed this out in our conversation about this game and some of the things that he'd like to see at the end of the night, the biggest thing is keeping guys healthy. You've got region play starting next week, so obviously the game plan is to get out there and put everything you have into winning this football game, but at the same time you want to keep guys as healthy as you can because the games really start to matter next week. And so that's something you really want to see at the end of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see it. That's one of those things that's hard to avoid. This is a physical sport, and this is a team tonight that, as Coach Atha said in the interview, there's not going to be a lot of good feelings between these two teams, even though they haven't played in 5 years, because this is a rivalry, and it's going to be a good ball game and a hard-hitting ball game. But yeah, absolutely, you want to see these Tigers come through it injury-free if at all possible.
So, again, it's going to be the Darlington Tigers and the Bremen Blue Devils. Haven't played each other since 2005, and Darlington's really had the best of the series. I think they've won 4 or 5 in a row. I should have wrote that down, but if memory serves me correct, it's either 4 or 5 in a row that they've won in the series. And so, obviously, Bremen's probably looked at that and said, hey, we want to get these guys this time. So they're here in an environment, Chris Hunter Stadium can be a tough place to play for opposing teams. But, again, we talked earlier about how the coaching styles of these coaches is similar in terms of that work ethic and just taking things one play at a time and just giving everything you have to every play. So I don't think this is going to be a situation where Bremen comes into this environment and are intimidated to play the Darlington Tigers.
Not in the least bit. The Blue Devils are going to be ready. They play in a tough region. They're not going to back down from anybody, but neither are the Tigers. So I expect a hard-fought ball game. And again, like you mentioned, a cleanly executed, well fundamentally played ball game.
Ian, I want to point something out regarding programming notes for WLAQ tonight, because we have an interesting situation in that the Braves play a game that starts at 9:08. That's NLCS Game 5. Braves lead the Dodgers 3-1. And since we are the local affiliate on the radio here in Rome, after we get done with Darlington football, instead of going to the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show like we normally would do this time of year, we're going to need to head to the Braves radio network and get ready to listen to the Braves and cheer them on, and hopefully they'll be able to wrap that thing up tonight.
Oh, that'd be great. Interesting situation with Minter on the mound making his first career start in a postseason game. That's a first. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Braves perform tonight, but it sure would be great to get out of that series and finish things off tonight.
Well, from a programming standpoint, I'm a Braves fan, but from a programming standpoint, I'm hoping that they win tonight extra, because Saturday you've got, of course, Bama playing UGA. We are your local affiliate for Alabama football, and that game's going to kick off at 8 o'clock with airtime at 5:30, I think, for that, or actually would be 5. So with the situation that you have with the Braves could be playing tomorrow in Game 6. So you have two scenarios. If you have only one LCS game played tomorrow on Saturday, the Braves are going to move to 7:08, right? Well, Tampa leads the series over Houston 3-2. So if Tampa's able to wrap that up, that changes the scenario. But if there are two LCS games played on Saturday, then the game is going to remain at 4:38. So we'll see what happens with that situation. Our hope is that the Braves win it today, wrap up that series, and then we're free and clear to have the Alabama-Georgia game. But But if not, obviously the Braves will take priority tomorrow evening since that is a National League Championship Series game.
You think there's some local people interested in that Alabama-Georgia game?
I would anticipate so. So pretty interesting evening and situation we have programming-wise coming up this weekend. And if I sound confused when I was relaying that information to you, it's because I am a little bit. Kind of makes my head spin.
I think you can be forgiven for that, Matt.
Well, thank you very much. But we're about to have the captains enter the field and teams make their entrances here in just a few moments. We've got about 4 minutes until this game kicks off. So let's take a 3-minute break. We'll get you ready for kickoff. It's your Darlington Tigers against the Bremen Blue Devils coming up in a few minutes on WLAQ. We'll step out.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything, be anything,
achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends, and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
because today, tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Yep, we are back live at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Matt Davis and Ian Griffin to bring you the play-by-play story tonight of Darlington versus Bremen. The captains tonight for your Darlington Tigers were Luke Lewis, also number 61, Bert Shrimpshire, Brinson Sumner, and then Jackson Floyd for the Bremen Blue Devils visiting here tonight from Bremen, Georgia, which Bremen is in Haralson and then also another county over there, Carroll County. They're in two counties, which is kind of interesting. But you had number 57, Alex Bearden, number 55, Hammond Folsom, number 9, and that is Judson White, and number 54, That is Chase Williams. So that was the captains for Bremen. Darlington won the toss, and like they did last week, they deferred to the second half. So their goal is to let the defense set the tone, as you often see with a Darlington football team. So you're going to have a couple of men back here for Bremen. Brinson Sumner's got it teed up. We've got some Welcome to the Jungle fired up on the PA system, and we're about to see some football, Ian.
We sure are, Matt, and this is absolutely the biggest turnout as far as a visiting team. The Bremen faithful traveled well tonight, as the away stands have the new normal for capacity over there. They're socially distanced, but anyway, good turnout for the ball game tonight, so it should be an electric atmosphere.
Judson White is standing right at the goal line. He's got a couple of guys to either side of him, and we are just about ready to go here from Chris Hunter Stadium. Toe meets leather. We're underway, and the kickoff is going to float down and to the arms of White at the 2-yard line. He's going to bring it out across the 20. He's going to get out to about the 22 before he's brought down. Again, that was Judson White with the kick return.
And usually we've grown accustomed to Sumner putting them out of the back of the end zone. That one was fielded right at the 1-yard line, but a good job in coverage there by the Darlington special teams.
So we'll get a look at this Bremen football team on offense to start the game. They're going to start off at their own 23 here as we are just underway from Chris Hunter Stadium. Again, Darlington and Bremen going head-to-head for the first time in 5 seasons. Their quarterback is going to be Tucker Hendricks as we get ready to start off. You'll also probably see some snaps to Brooks Hardy, and they're going to start off in the gun. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off on the first play. We're going to call this young man's name a lot tonight. Tay Banks with the first carry, and he gashes them up the middle for about 6 yards.
Just a cannonball of a player there. Read option, and he went with the feed there to Banks, and Banks was able to power forward for a nice gain on first down, setting up a 2nd and 4.
So they'll go back to the drawing board here on 2nd down. Tucker Hendricks, again, the quarterback for the Bremen Blue Devils. Their head coach is Davis Russell. He's got a famous last name. We're going to talk about that throughout our broadcast when we get an opportunity. So we wait for Hendricks, the senior quarterback, getting ready to take another snap from the gun with his running back, his favorite guy in the backfield, Banks, and he gashes them again. This time he goes here to the near side and picks up a big chunk of yards, so first down and then a lot.
Yeah, big pickup from Banks there. Same play they ran on the first play from scrimmage. And so far, Bremen's getting a great push up front, and Banks runs with a lot of aggression.
So first down and 10 now for the Bremen Blue Devils on their first drive of the football game. We're just underway here from Chris Hunter Stadium. A fresh set of downs. They'll line up in the gun. Banks is in the backfield with his quarterback, Hendricks. And Hendricks will check the play at the line of scrimmage. They're going to have 2 wide receivers, one on each side of the formation. Man goes into motion off to the right side. There's the snap. Back to Banks. He goes up the middle. This time they closed the gap, and they were able to reel him in a lot quicker than the previous couple of plays.
Yeah, Bremen's been operating out of this little pistol form, and it's looked really good so far, but the Darlington defensive line that was able to get penetration that time and shut that down before it could get going. It'll be 2nd and 8 at the 46-yard line.
So a 2-yard pickup there for the Bremen Blue Devils. They're back to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback ready to take the snap with Banks in the backfield. Tucker Hendricks, the quarterback tonight so far for Bremen here on their first drive. Working right to left. Bremen's in their white uniforms with blue helmets. They look like Alabama helmets, but blue, and the quarterback's going to keep it this time, gets a first down, and then a few more yards after that. And so that'll be a fresh set of downs now for the Blue Devils. So the Blue Devils now with 1st and 10 will go back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to be at the 42-yard line. Quarterback looks off to the sidelines for the play call. He gets ready to take the snap. Banks in the backfield with him. 3 wide receivers. They're going to hand it off. They go off towards the left tackle side of the formation, and the defense closes. So he picks up a couple of yards there, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. Tucker Hendricks with a great carry on that play before when he kept it on the read option.
And I understand that our feed is going across the PA, but I have no earthly idea how that's occurring. So we might need a little bit of help on that one. But Bremen now with 2nd down and 5 coming up here on this next play. They will line up at the 37-yard line now on Darlington's side of the field. That's going to be a handoff to Banks. He is going to go up towards the near side, and he's going to be pulled down after a pickup of a couple of yards.
We'll have our first 3rd down situation here. Darlington would love to get off the field as Bremen is moving the ball well on their first possession.
But it is 3rd and short, so let's see if the defense can pin their ears back here and get a stop. Glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ, also the live video stream. Hendricks ready to take the snap here on 3rd down and short. Bremen the ball. We have played 8 minutes, or actually we have 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. Scoreless, first drive of the game. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Banks again. This time the defense reels him in, and it looks like he may be.
He got it with second effort there.
He got it.
Yeah, he was able to break a tackle and lean forward and pick up a couple of yards, so had some room to spare there on that pickup.
So the ball is going to be right at the 30-yard line, and Bremen's offense here on this first drive looking very effective against Darlington's defense. So 1st and 10 from the 30. Bremen now back at the line of scrimmage, again working right to left here early in this football game. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Here's the snap. They're going to hand it off and try to run up the middle. They find a little bit of room, extra effort, gets a couple of more yards, so he picked up about 5 yards, and that was number 16, Brooks Hardy, the senior.
Yeah, right now averaging, 4 to 6 yards on first down for the Bremen Blue Devils. An impressive opening drive. Darlington will look to bend but not break.
And the Bremen Blue Devils, I was reading an article from the AJC earlier. They returned 5 starters on each side of the ball this year, and I know not last year but the year before they graduated like 30 seniors. So they've had a lot of turnover over the last couple of years because of graduation. There's the snap to the quarterback, Hendricks. He's going to hand it off, finds a little bit of room up the middle, and he's able to pick up a few yards. This Bremen team running really hard here with good push up from the offensive line.
Staying ahead of the chains put themselves in another 3rd and very manageable here, especially with the way they're running the ball.
So Bremen will go back to the line of scrimmage with a 3rd down and 2, a long 2 here with 6:33 left to go here in the first quarter. So they are absolutely just chewing up the time here in this first quarter. So now they're going to send 1 wide receiver on each side of the formation. Man goes in motion. Quarterback Hendricks taking the snap, a low snap, pulls it, is going to run off to the right side of the formation, and he is going to get another first down. Good pursuit by, I believe it was Luke McDermott of the Darlington defense, but couldn't quite get a hold of him in time, and that's going to be a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, that was an impressive stiff arm there by Tucker Hendricks. The 2 times he has kept, he's shown good speed and power as far as his running, and Bremen picks up another 3rd down.
So we're almost to the 6-minute mark here. Half of the first quarter is in the books. Bremen still has the football, and now they have it in the red zone at the 18-yard line. They'll line up with everybody in tight. Quarterback is going to take the ball and run off to the right side. This time the defense sniffs out the play and is able to make a stop.
Yeah, good pursuit there by Darlington. If you've noticed, Bremen's having their success between the tackles because Darlington has a lot of great team speed. They're able to pursue sideline to sideline so well. That time they tried to get to the edge. Darlington shut it down and sets up a 2nd and 9 at the 17.
So Bremen going back to the line of scrimmage. Their quarterback, Tucker Hendricks, is going to line them up with Banks in the backfield. 3 wide receiver set, 2 to the near side, 1 on the far side. The 1 on the far side is Blake Matthews. The 2 on the near side are Seth Childers. The 1 in the slot is going to be Brady Hassenfuss. Here is the snap to Hendricks. He's going to pull it down and hand it off. He goes to Banks, goes right side, picks up about 6 yards. Man, that kid can really run the football.
Absolutely. His offensive line's giving him some running lanes as well.
So that brings up 3rd down and about 4 here for Bremen in the red zone against the Darlington Tigers. Chewing up yards and chewing up clock here on their first drive. We've got 4:44 left in the first quarter.
Game just started. The first quarter is almost over.
Tucker Hendricks has them in a huddle, getting ready to go back to line of scrimmage. They're going to have 2 wide receivers this time. Man goes in motion off to the left side of the formation. There's the snap. They're going to hand it up. Nope. Quarterback's going to keep it and run to the near side and dives towards the end zone. Ball comes out. It's a fumble, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, just a fortunate break there for Bremen. That ball was definitely out, and there was nobody around it, but the momentum that the ball had carried it out of bounds around the 3-yard line. And that's where they'll spot it.
So that brings up 1st and goal from the 3. Bremen has marched the football down the field and chewed up most of the first quarter. We've played about 8 minutes. We're down to the 4:19 mark here of the first quarter. Hendricks is getting set to take the snap with Tay Banks right behind him in that sort of pistol look that you described. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near. Man went in motion off to the left side. There's the snap. They're going to hand it to Banks, and he dives for the end zone. That's the first points of the game. That was an impressive drive to start this game.
Yeah. All run plays, picked up all 3 of their third down attempts, had no problems there. Just a strong statement from the Bremen offense to start this game.
So with 4:13 left here in our opening quarter, Bremen gets the first points of the game. They're up 6-0. We're going to see Brody Derringer come on. He is the kicker, and he'll try to punch it through for the extra point. Kick is on the way, and it is through the uprights and good. So the score moves to 7-0 with 4:13 left. Bremen on top.
Yeah, no nonsense drive there from the Blue Devils to start this game as they went 78 yards in around 8 minutes, and we're able to punch it in and get a touchdown. So Darlington now has to come out and answer the bell.
No question about it, and we felt like we'd have, some smash mouth football, just kind of punch you in the mouth, that kind of game here with these 2 football teams. And again, that was just a really first impressive drive there for Bremen to open up this game 7-0. And as you mentioned, they've challenged Darlington, and you got to come out and answer back very quickly. So we'll see what Darlington does on offense.
You said it. It's a punch-you-in-the-mouth game. Well, Darlington just got hit. Now
they got to hit back.
They've got to hit back.
I always think about that. What do we got?
Cartersville scored on an 80-yard touchdown on the first play of the game.
Wow.
So their new quarterback that they have over there, obviously getting things done.
Carlos Del Rio.
Hey, Florida commit.
Dual threat quarterback,
Dual threat guy.
making the headlines for sure.
Yeah.
Well, now Bremen has it teed up, and we're going to see Brody Derringer, who just tacked on their extra point, kick it off from the 40. Darlington's going to have 1 man back deep around the goal line. That's going to be a kick that lands at about the 18-yard line. It's going to be brought out, and young man's going to bring it across close to the 40. That's Thomas Bethel. He gets to the 39.
And we've seen when Thomas Bethel gets the ball in his hands, he's got some space. He makes things happen. A nice return there, setting Darlington up with good field position for their first offensive possession. And the goal will be to answer that opening touchdown by Bremen.
And it's hard to believe that with 4:07 left in the first quarter, Darlington is going to have the ball on offense for the first time.
Yeah.
That was such a long drive, almost 8 minutes long. Patrick Shelley, the quarterback for your Darlington Tigers, again tonight's done a fantastic job for the first 5 games of the season. Hard to believe this is the 6th game.
It is.
He is going to line up under center here for first down. And the Tigers are going to start at their own 39-yard line. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff, rolls out looking to pass here on first down. He's going to throw it right in the breadbasket of the wide receiver, and that was Gabe Simpkins. That was an excellent throw.
Yeah, it really was. Great throw, great catch. That was a tight window that he was trying to squeeze that in. Bremen had that well defended, and Shelley put it in the only place he could, and give credit to the receiver there for a great catch.
3 wide receiver set. Shelley's getting ready to take the snap. He's got Harrison Allen right behind him in this formation, so sort of a pistol look here. And 2nd down and 2 here for the Darlington Tigers as they are now lined up at the 47-yard line, still on their side of the field. There's a snap to Allen. He is brought down very quickly and hit very hard by big number 51, Austin Faulkner from Bremen. Wow.
Jack pulling in on that as well. Yeah, Bremen's got some hosses down there. Definitely got some athletes.
So that brings up 3rd down and 2 here for the Darlington Tigers, and they're going to run out their power set, it looks like, here for this next snap. We'll see what it looks like when they come back to the line of scrimmage.
Bremen was able to pick up all 3 of their third downs
And that's exactly what they're doing. Quarterback under center. There's the snap to Shelley. He's going to hand it off, and he gets tripped up, but he got enough.
He did.
Harrison Allen picks up a first down.
Big third down conversion there, man. You do not want to go 3 and out after your opponent has opened the game with a touchdown. Darlington's able to pick up that conversion and keep this drive alive.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide set on each side of the formation. Shelley with Harrison Allen in the backfield after picking up a big first down. They've got the ball right at the middle of the field. Darlington trailing this one 7-0 with 2:26 left here in the first quarter of play. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to pitch to the right side to Allen. Bulldozes his way through, picks up about 6 or 7 yards, and makes number 5, which is Blake Matthews, have to pay the price. That was a pretty hard hit from the running back.
And Darlington's doing a good job on first down so far, as Allen picked up 7 or 8 yards on that one. It was 8 yards. You'll take that all night.
Thomas Bethel comes off the field. Going on is Tyler Watkins. He's going to line up in the slot. You're going to have 3 wide receivers, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near. Shelley getting ready to take the snap with Allen in the backfield. He's going to hand it off, and nice run again. Picks up the first down. He's going to be inside the 40 to the 38.
I think we're going to see a steady recipe of these running backs tonight from both teams.
We may set a record in terms of time of the game.
Well, we've said that before. We've been here and watched the first half melt away, and then, it's been 11 o'clock before we're off the air, so you never know. But right now the clock is definitely moving quickly.
Ball is on the 38-yard line now on Bremen's side of the field. Darlington working from left to right. I'm just glad that these two teams have different mascots this week. So
that is nice.
Tigers and Blue Devils instead of Tigers playing Tigers. Shotgun formation. This is going to be a 4-wide set. Darius Smith is now in the backfield. He's going to be standing right to the left side of quarterback Patrick Shelley. They're going with Smith. No, quarterback keeps it, runs off the left side. Did a good job selling that fake. And they pick up 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, well defended there by Bremen, because that was a great fake by Patrick Shelley. But when he got to the outside, Bremen stayed home and played that really, really well and limited him to a couple of yards.
Coming off the field's Harrison Allen. Darius Smith is staying on. Now to the near side at wide receiver, you're going to have Will Bagby in the slot. Here on this near side is Thomas Bethel. On the other side, you've got Thomas Speed, and I'll catch the other number here in a moment. But shotgun formation, man goes in motion. That's Bethel. They're going to fake the handoff to him. Shelley's rolling back, looking to throw, puts it up the middle of the field. It's going to be intercepted. It was deflected and eventually picked up by Clint Duncan. And that is a turnover for the Tigers on the interception.
Yeah, the tip drill there. Shelley had to fit that into a tight window. It was tipped. We've got some discussion down here between the officials. See what the call is here, and it's a hold. Now, an interference wouldn't work because of the tip pass, but the hold will give Darlington the ball back. So, disaster averted. And the refs will sort this out, and we'll see where they mark the ball. That should be a first down.
Well, instead of being an interception and the ball in the hands of Bremen, that's going to be a big-time penalty. And now Darlington's going to have the ball on the 27-yard line on Bremen's side of the field. That was a major gift right there.
Yeah, big-time turn of events there. Darlington had things cooking, and that was a great play by Bremen, but obviously they were holding one of the Darlington receivers.
So now first down and 10 here for Darlington on Bremen's 27-yard line. Allen in the backfield. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to tuck and run. Nice spin move. Picks up maybe 3 yards because of it. And so that'll be a decent pickup there for the Tigers on first down. Oh, he got about 5 yards, actually.
Yeah, nice pickup there by Shelley. Good spin move.
Glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ. Darlington and Bremen. Right now, Bremen leads at 7-0, and we're just about done with the first quarter. That was about the quickest quarter of high school football I personally have ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get another playoff either.
I don't either.
We'll see. Doesn't look like it.
So that's going to be the end of your first quarter. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And that'll do it for the first quarter. So we're going to send it back to the studio. Bremen 7, Darlington 0. We get ready for the second quarter after a 1-minute break on WLAQ. Well, we're super glad to be back with you from here at Chris Hunter Stadium, Jerry Sharp Field, on a beautiful night for football. We're getting ready for the second quarter, and Darlington's first possession of the game carries over from the first quarter into the second quarter. Each team would have one possession in that first quarter of play, Ian.
Yeah, but it went quick, Matt, and that's what happens when you're running the rock, and both of these teams were looking to establish that running game. I think that's going to be key. This is going to be a physical game. We talked about that roster size and how that could be a major advantage. A lot of these Darlington players play both ways. Bremen's got a little bit more depth, but they've got guys that are playing both ways as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who wears down first.
So they're going to line up in the gun. It looks like an empty backfield here as you've got several wide receivers on each side. We get ready. Man goes in motion. Get ready for the snap to Shelley. He drops back. He rolls out here to the near side. He's going to have to tuck and run, and he is going to be inside the 20, now inside the 15 to about the 13. So that was a good pickup and a first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, great run there by Shelley, and the Tigers really need him to step up and make a lot of plays with his legs tonight. Bremen's getting good pressure when he drops back to pass, so nice, quick decision there to take off and pick up what he could, which was quite a nice game.
So first down here for the Tigers in the red zone, trying to answer the bell. Bremen would score on their first drive that ate up almost 8 minutes of the first quarter of the football game. They'd score on a 3-yard run by number 22, Tay Banks. We called his name a lot on that first possession. Darlington working from right to left. Quarterback Shelley's got him in the gun with two wide receivers on each side. Allen in the backfield. They fake the handoff, and Patrick Shelley runs off to the left side, diving towards the end zone. They're going to pull him down a little bit short, but, man, he sold the heck out of that fake to Allen.
He sure did, and then he's dragging guys trying to get into the end zone. Great effort by Patrick Shelley here, and a good run setting up Darlington at first and goal right at the 5-yard line. Well, more like the 3 with forward progress.
So Darlington runs back to the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they can get these last few yards at the goal line and punch it through and hopefully tie this football game up. 7-0, Bremen on top. We've got just under 11 minutes to play here in the first half. Power set. They're going to hand it off from under center, give it to Allen. He tries to bulldoze his way through the pile but can't get there. There's a lot of bodies in there.
Yeah, he hit a brick wall when he got to the line of scrimmage and didn't go anywhere. Just stopped dead in his tracks, which is not an easy task when you're talking about Harrison Allen.
Harrison Allen had a big game last week, scored a couple of touchdowns, one on a 4-yard run, one on a 49-yard run. Had over 130 yards in that game. He was our Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Shelley came off to the sidelines to talk with offensive coordinator Brent Bell. Dial up the next play here for second down and goal. Ball is on the 5-yard line. Darlington now under center. And here is the snap. They're going to fake the handoff, roll right. Quarterback is scrambling, trying to find somebody to throw it to, and he finds a wide-open receiver in the back of the end zone. And I believe that was Luke Overbay, wasn't it? Number 24.
Yeah.
And a touchdown for the Tigers. If they can get the extra point, that'll even things up.
Yeah, on that one, Patrick Shelley's first and second options weren't there. He was able to roll out, buy some time, and he found Overbay in the back of the end zone. Great job by Overbay to reel that one in, and the Tigers have answered the bell, and pending this extra point, will tie it up with the Bremen Blue Devils.
So Brinson Sumner on to attempt the extra point. Let's see if he can punch it through, and as you say, even things up here between the Tigers and the Blue Devils. Mason McKenzie getting set to snap the ball to Jack Payne, who will handle the hold. The ball is on the way. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights. We have a tie football game with 10:01 left, first half.
All right, Matt. Looks like we're going to have an exciting game on our hands tonight.
Kind of had a feeling that might be the case, and I know that when people looked at the football score from the Pepperell game against Bremen, where Pepperell just really manhandled him in that game, I raised some flags, maybe some question marks about this Bremen team, but when you look at the tough schedule that they've played so far, kind of had a feeling that this team would have some pretty good players. But you know what? They're going to have a tough road ahead of them in their region, because in Region 5AA that Bremen's in, there's also Callaway, Haralson County, Heard County, and Temple. That is one tough region in AA. So now the ball is going to be teed up, and we'll get ready to roll here in just a couple of moments. Darlington has answered the bell and tied this thing up. We'll be giving you some scores at halftime, brought to you by Rome Orthopedic Center at the end of the game. It'll be the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. So stick around for all of that coming up.
It's always a heated competition to see who will win that coveted prize.
It is, and you've got such great team effort coming from the Darlington Tigers this season, and they make it difficult for us to make that choice every single week, which that's a good problem to have, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, we've had no repeats, and that just speaks to what you're talking about. This is a real team effort from Darlington.
It's not like we're having to pull straws to figure out who could win it. They're giving a lot of reason. There's the kick. It'll be end over end, drops about the 10-yard line. Bremen's going to field this one and bring it out. Good full head of steam, and they bring it out to about the 25. I didn't catch the number of the return man.
Judson White, number 9.
Thank you.
Senior.
So Bremen is going to get ready for only their second drive of the game. Their first drive was almost an 8-minute drive that was capped off with a 3-yard touchdown run by Tay Banks. And that would make the game 7-0 after the good extra point by their kicker. And then Darlington would answer the bell on the next drive that carried over into our second quarter. So Bremen lines up and gets ready to roll on offense here for the second time of the game. Their quarterback is Tucker Hendricks. He'll get them lined up with 2 wide receivers to the near side and 1 on the far side. And they're going to line up to start this drive at their own 26-yard line. So the Blue Devils going from left to right against the Tigers. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to roll out. This is a different young man. They throw a pass this time, and he's going to connect with his wide receiver, Blake Matthews. The quarterback on that play was Brooks Hardy, Ian.
And you said we might see him under center, and that's the first time that the Blue Devils have thrown a pass, and he fired that one in there, man. Really, really nice-looking play.
So now they're going to line up here with a couple of wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Let's see who lines up at quarterback here for this particular play. It is going to be Brooks Hardy again with first down and 10. Man goes, well, here comes the snap. 2 men go in motion this time. A lot of movement right there at the line of scrimmage. There's the snap. Hardy takes the snap and passes to the right side. And the wide receiver, Seth Childers, cannot hang on. That's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Hardy fired that one a little bit behind him, and that was going to be a tough catch, and I don't think it was going anywhere had he caught it. But Bremen trying to come out and dial things up in the pass game with as much success as they had in the running game. That's a little bit surprising. And now they're at 2nd and 10 at their own 38-yard line.
So Bremen back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side, working from left to right.
Somebody once said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, and Tay Banks is in the backfield. Wouldn't be shocked if they went to him here on this second down play. He is flanked to the left of the quarterback. They're going his way, but the quarterback keeps it, and this time it was Tucker Hendricks at the quarterback position. Picks up 8 runs. Evidently, they just have different skill sets and things they like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to cycle them in and out. You want to keep the defense on their heels, and Hendricks with a nice run there, just a little off-tackle quarterback keep.
Davis Russell, the head coach for this Bremen Blue Devils team. He has a very famous grandfather, the late legendary Irk Russell. We got some stories I was reading about earlier today that we'll probably talk about at halftime.
Oh, we're having some problems here.
And a timeout is going to be called by the Darlington Tigers, it would appear. So we're going to take one as well. 9:38 left here, first half. We're all knotted up, 7 apiece. Darlington and Bremen will be back in 30 seconds. We are back live from Chris Hunter Stadium here at Jerry Sharp Field. Darlington Tigers tied up right now with the Bremen Blue Devils. Both teams scored on their opening drives of the game. Bremen with the football right now with a 3rd down and 3 coming up here from the 45-yard line, still on their side of the field, Ian.
Yeah, big third down here for the Darlington defense. Had some substitution problems there. Were able to get a timeout and avoid a penalty. But they are coming out and see if they can get off the field. Bremen was 3 for 3 on third down on their first drive.
Tucker Hendricks in at quarterback here for Bremen. They have cycled between him and Brooks Hardy on this particular drive. Wide receiver to the near side, one on the far side. Man goes in motion. And here is the snap from the pistol. They're going to hand it off to Banks again. Bounces to the right and picks up a few yards. But from my angle, it looks like he may be a little short.
Yeah, it looked like Darlington was going to stop him before he could get going. It'll depend on where they spot this ball. It looks like it's going to be short.
Well, now they're moving the chains. I thought that was a little short, but I guess not. So that'll bring up first down here from the 47-yard line. Bremen with the football and moving it down the field, and they've been able to move the ball in their first couple of drives. Wide receiver on each side of the formation. Quarterback back into the game is going to be Brooks Hardy. We've seen two quarterbacks on this possession, Tucker Hendricks and Brooks Hardy. Right now it's Hardy with Banks in the backfield. They're going to fake the handoff to Banks. It looked like the quarterback was going to run it, and we're going to have a timeout called again. So
this time it's the Blue Devils that take it.
We're going to take one as well. 7-7, all tied up. Darlington and Bremen, 9:07 left first half. We'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, just about to resume play. Do we have any score updates?
We have some interesting score updates. North Murray and Rockmart are knotted up at 14 in the first quarter. Cartersville's up 14-0 on Cass. Rome 7, Dalton 0, Model 14, Coosa 0, and Fannin County 15, Pepperell 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We'll give you more scores coming up at halftime, brought to you by Rome Orthopedic Center. We certainly appreciate them sponsoring our scoreboard. They've done that for a long time. Going to be two wide receivers on the far side, one on the near. The quarterback in the game right now for Bremen is Brooks Hardy. Two men go off to the far side of the formation. Hardy is going to run towards his left, puts the ball in the air. Pretty good ball. It's going to be hauled in by Brady Hasenfuss. I guess that's how you say that young man's name. And he made one heck of a grab.
I tell you what, that's a tough throw there. Back across his body. He threw that into traffic in the only place that Hasenfuss could catch it, and it just stuck to his hands. What a great play there by Bremen.
That's going to bring them down to the 34-yard line on Darlington's side of the field and moving the ball. Bremen back to the line of scrimmage pretty quick this time. Two wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side. And behind the quarterback is Tay Banks in that pistol look. They also have a sniffer back here on the near side of the formation. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. Banks finds some running room. Oh, my. He's down to the 20. And they're going to pull him down there, and I was worried they weren't going to be able to get him before he got that momentum going, heading towards the end zone.
It really looked like he might pop that if he had made one cut to the outside, but a good job there by Patrick Shelley on the tackle. Had to catch his number on the replay, but Shelley did a good job to contain him because that looked like it was going to be a touchdown.
But that does bring up first down for the Bremen Blue Devils from just right at the red zone, and they'll go back to line scrimmage with a fresh set of downs. And at quarterback, Brooks Hardy in that pistol look. 4 wide receiver set, 2 on the far side and 2 on the near side. In the backfield again is going to be Tay Banks, who has been dynamite tonight. There's the snap. They're going to hand it to him, tries to bounce off to the left side, and he's pulled down. That was a good tackle. We got to make sure we get that.
It really was. I'm trying to catch that number. I think it was number 10, Joseph Marion.
Get a better look here on the screen.
It was
Joseph Marion.
Yeah, and he's really made some great plays the past few weeks. Darlington needs to get Bremen off schedule. Right now, they are just gashing them on first down, setting up second and medium, third and short.
2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Banks is in the backfield with the quarterback, who at the moment is Brooks Hardy. We've also seen Tucker Hendricks at the quarterback position tonight for Bremen. All tied up at 7 with 7:35 left to go here in the first half. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback runs off to the far side, gets tripped up, but he got the first down, I believe, and another good run by Bremen and their quarterback.
Yeah, Brooks Hardy kept it on the read option that time. Joseph Marion was crashing down, ready to make the play. He pulled the ball and was able to pick up the first down, and it'll be 1st and goal at the 9-yard line for Bremen. I actually spotted that right at the 10, yeah.
So Bremen getting set to go to the line of scrimmage with 1st down and 10. And in the backfield is Banks with the quarterback, who is still Hardy here for this series of downs. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Darlington trying to hold them here. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, and Banks is going to be stopped cold. I think he may have lost a yard on that play.
That's what Darlington needed. They really needed to make a play on 1st down.
Lewis with the tackle.
We are used to calling Mr. Lewis's name. He sure can be a disruptive force for this Tiger defense.
Indeed, he can be. So that brings up 2nd down and 11 here for the Blue Devils. They'll have 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Still in at quarterback, it appears to be Brooks Hardy. They will break the huddle at the line of scrimmage. This will be shotgun formation. Nope, man goes off to the left side of the quarterback. That's Banks. There's the snap. He's rolling to the left, puts it in the end zone. Interception by Patrick Shelley.
It was, and that time, great penetration, good rush from the Darlington defense. They forced the quarterback to fire that before he wanted to, and Patrick Shelley picks it off in the end zone and takes a knee, so that touchback will set Darlington up at their 20-yard line. What a huge play to swing the momentum in this ball game, as Bremen's offense has been moving the ball pretty easily, so that turnover changes the momentum.
And we talked about in our pregame, it's always important in every football game, obviously, to win the turnover battle. Darlington did not turn over the football at all last week, and now they have an opportunity here to take advantage of a Bremen turnover here in the first half of this football game, with everything tied up at 7 apiece and 6:23 left here on the clock. It is 8:08, and you're listening to Darlington Tigers football on WLAQ. Shelley from the gun, 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation, working from right to left, and a flag comes in before the play. False start.
That'll back the Tigers up 5 yards. Not the way you want to start the drive, but they've done a pretty good job this season of overcoming the penalties.
That's going to back them up just inside the 15-yard line as they get ready for 1st and 15 now, after the interception by Patrick Shelley and touchback that set them up at the 20-yard line. In the backfield is going to be Harrison Allen, 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation. Shelley's getting ready to take the snap, and he's going to take it and go to the right side, going to run, and nice stiff arm, tries to cut inside, and he finds some room to run. They finally pull him down, and he probably picked up 8 yards.
I tell you what,
10.
Patrick Shelley came to play tonight.
He did.
He's an elusive guy, but he's running. His pad level's great. He's dragging guys. He's making great cuts, great decisions with the ball.
He's already won the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game, but there's no rule that you can't win it more than once.
I think he's hungry.
I think he is. I think he got his taste of those Honeymoon Bakery cupcakes or whatever he got with his gift certificate, and he wants some more. 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley getting ready to take the snap from the gun. Another flag comes in. This is going to be another false start.
It is. Lewis came out of his stance a little bit earlier, and they've got their wires crossed here.
5:36 left here in the first half. Darlington and Bremen knotted up at 7 apiece. Both teams scored on the opening drives of the game.
Killed the momentum from that previous play.
2nd down and 8 here for the Tigers from their own 22. They look off to the sidelines for a little instruction. Now they're going to line up with Allen in the backfield and 3 wide receiver set. There's the snap. Shelley's rolling out, looking to throw. He's got company in the backfield. He's going to throw it away out of bounds. Incomplete pass.
All options were exhausted there. That's a smart play by Shelley to just fight, live to play another down there, got rid of the ball.
So that brings up 3rd down and 8 here for the Tigers. with 5:14 left here in our first half of play. I want to thank our sponsors for making it possible for us to be here tonight. We'll tell you about Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery, Riverside Auto Group, Avery Drugs, Rome Orthopedic Center, and Ware Mechanical. Thank you very much. Shotgun formation, twin wide receivers on each side of the formation. Allen in the backfield. Shelley rolls out looking to throw. The ball's in the air, and it's going to be an incomplete pass over through the intended receiver, Bo Nowens, by just a hair, but that was good pursuit by the defense as well.
It was. Shelley just a little long on that delivery, and penalties got in the way for the Tigers that time. Just killed the drive before they could get it started, and Brinson Sumner will come out to punt this one away.
So Bremen's previous drive, their second drive of the game, ends up in an interception, a turnover, but it does not turn out to burn them in terms of points scored from Darlington, as they're going to have to punt it away. As you mentioned, Sumner is on the field right now. He's standing at the 8-yard line, takes the snap from McKenzie. The kick is on the way, puts some good air on it. It's a nice spiral. It's going to be returnable. He drops it on the turf and takes a knee, and the return man there was Blake Matthews. And so that turns into some good yardage on that punt.
Yeah, beautiful punt by Sumner. And the bobble there by Matthews gave him an extra 5 yards as he had to take a knee. So really a good job there, even though they weren't able to mount a scoring drive to get that interception in the end zone and kill the momentum for Bremen. Now they've got them back on their own 28-yard line to start this third possession.
So Bremen now gets the ball with 5 minutes left to go here in the half. We are almost at halftime, and it's not even 8:30 yet. So shotgun formation here for Bremen. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far. And in at quarterback, again, is going to be Tucker Hendricks. We mentioned to you they have a 2-quarterback system that they're working tonight, Hendricks and Hardy. But right now it's Hendricks, and he gets ready to take the snap. There it is. He's going off to the left side of the formation. He's going to cut it back to the inside and try to run. Good job by the defense right there.
Absolutely. Hendricks is a really quick little quarterback, and he tried to bounce that one outside and then reverse field. And Darlington's pursuit was excellent on that play, and that gets them behind the chains. We talked about that on that last drive.
And it was Joe Mary again who was able to get him by the shoestrings. That brings up second down here for Bremen and 10, still at their own 28-yard line. Quarterback is going to have it in the gun with 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far. In the backfield is going to be Tay Banks. There's the snap to Hendricks. He's rolling off to the left side. He's going to tuck and runs it up the sidelines, and I believe he got a first down.
It's really nothing. It's just a quarterback run that's essentially a sweep play, and it's working for him right now as Hendricks was able to pick that up pretty easily.
4:09 left here, first half. I want to say first quarter, but we've been done with that for a long time. We got 4:09 left in the second quarter. 2 wide receivers near side, 1 on the far side. Banks in the backfield with the quarterback, Tucker Hendricks, for Bremen. They're working from left to right with a fresh set of downs, still on their side of the field at the 40. Here's the snap to Hendricks. He's going to throw quick out here to the near side. He's going to get it in the hands of Seth Childers. He stays up and gets about 6 yards on the play.
And Tyler Watkins made an excellent open field tackle there, because that could have picked up a lot more than it did. 5 yards, you'll take that on first down, but that could have been 15, 20, maybe more. Just a great job there to get him down to the turf.
So 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side from the pistol look with Banks in the backfield with the quarterback, Tucker Hendricks.
And Bremen's not going to be in a hurry here. 2 timeouts left for both teams with just over 3 minutes to go.
Here's the snap, low snap, pulls it up, gives it to Banks, finds some running room, and is able to get across the 45 down to about the 43. That was a big run.
Yeah, and Banks, man, I wouldn't want to have to tackle that guy. Low center of gravity. He's got tree trunks for legs. Very explosive runner. And if he gets a head full of steam, he's going to be tough to take to the turf.
3 wide receiver set. Banks still in the backfield. Obviously, he is the bell cow for this offense in terms of running the football, although they do mix it up. There's the snap. They're going to go back to Banks. This time the defense closes quickly, and Luke Lewis is in there. Actually, no, that wasn't Lewis this time. I believe that was Joey Kite, wasn't it?
Sure was, and we're seeing some rotation here on this defensive line tonight. Joey Kite has been out there. Christian McClooney's getting some snaps. So the Tigers are rotating and trying to stay fresh.
2nd down and 9 now for Bremen, working from left to right. Banks in the backfield with their quarterback, Tucker Hendricks. He's got 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. He gets ready to take the snap. He's going to roll off to the left side. Will pitch to the left of Banks, who tries to get some room on the edge and finds it. Picks up about 7 or 8 yards. That's going to set up a 3rd and very short.
Just a little option play there, and Banks was able to bounce that to the outside. And once again, Bremen, who has not been stopped on 3rd down yet, that turnover came on 2nd down, is going to have 3rd and very short here to keep this drive going.
So Hendricks will line him up with Banks in the backfield in their pistol look with 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. Man goes in motion from the far side over to the near side. There's the snap. They give it to Banks. He tries to run up the middle to get the 1st down, and I think they got to stop on 3rd down.
It looks like it. Now, that looked like it last time, too. We'll see. No, they're already signaling 4th down. So now you're in no man's land here if you're Bremen, and you're having a lot of success on the ground, so they will line up and go for this.
Joey Kite trots back out onto the field. 4th down and 1 here for Bremen. Hendricks will line him up in their pistol with Banks right there behind him. Man goes in motion from the near side to the far side. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback runs off to the left side. And did they get another stop? I think
no,
he got it that time.
No. The forward momentum there is definitely going to be a 1st down. Now, the Darlington defense would have shut that down had Hendricks actually handed the ball off, but he pulled that out and got to the perimeter and was able to pick up the 1st down on 4th down.
So 1st down here for the Bremen Blue Devils. We're tied up at 7 apiece. 1 minute and 18 seconds left. This will be from the gun this time with 3 wide receivers to the near side, a couple on the far side, and an empty backfield. You do have a sniffer back in there. There's the snap. Hendricks is going to fake the throw. Now he's going to try to toss it out into the flat. That's going to be blown dead.
Yeah, they're going to rule that an incomplete pass. It was close, but definitely looked like he threw it forward.
So that brings up 2nd down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, where the ball bounced, it looked like it was a forward pass, but
shotgun formation, 3 wide to the near side, 1 wide receiver off to the far side. Hendricks is in at quarterback here for Bremen. This is 2nd down and 10. With the ball on the 34, there's the snap. He's rolling to his right. He's going to throw it up the middle of the field on a screen to Luke Bridges, who finds some running room, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets down to about the 25. But there is laundry on the field.
There should be laundry on the field. I felt like they missed that, but Davis Watson was absolutely hogtied. Should be a hold and should come back. The head official had his eyes downfield and didn't throw the flag initially. But indeed, that will come back, and a big penalty.
48.5 seconds left here in the 1st half. Worth noting that Darlington won the coin toss and deferred to the 2nd half, so even if they can get a stop here and get the ball to start 2nd half, that could be a huge momentum shift in their favor, and they're going to call a timeout. So we are going to call a timeout as well. 7-7, 48.5 ticks left on the clock in the 1st half, tied up between Darlington and Bremen. We'll be back in 30 seconds. What? It's crazy. Man. All right, we're back here at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium by the lakeside at Darlington School. Right now knotted up 7 apiece between your Darlington Tigers and the Bremen Blue Devils. This has been some smash-mouth football here in the 1st half. It's been fun.
It has, and with 48.5 left, Bremen has 1 timeout left, so Darlington has an opportunity to possibly get to the locker room without giving up more points.
And I think we saw another timeout. Nope, a little bit of motion up front. and that is going to be a false start and a 5-yard penalty. So the penalty's killing this drive for Bremen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that puts them back at 2nd and 20. So Bremen moving in the wrong direction, and that's good news for Tigers fans.
Indeed. 43-yard lines where they're going to line this one up with 2nd down and 20 coming up here with 48.5 seconds left on the clock. There's the snap from the gun. Hendricks is going to throw up the middle of the field, and he connects with a wide receiver. They get about 15 yards on that play, and wasn't that Clint Duncan, the receiver?
I think it was number 4, Brady Hassenfuss, that caught that one, and he is sure-handed.
Indeed he is. So that's going to bring up 3rd down. Still a long way to go, but that was a big pickup here for Bremen.
And Bremen has called their final timeout.
We're going to keep it right here through this one. We're getting close to the end of the first half of play here, and Darlington and Bremen all locked up right now at 7 apiece. It's been a fun game here so far for the first half.
It's gone by rather quickly, but back and forth action. And let's remember, if Darlington can get off the field here, they get the ball to start the second half. And they had the ball after a turnover with a chance to take the lead and went 3 and out because of some penalty trouble of their own. But now Bremen has put themselves behind the chains, but were able to pick up 14 yards on that last pass play and set up a 3rd and 6. If you're Darlington's defense, you want to contain them, keep them inside the boundary, and see if you can get this clock to expire before they have a chance to put any points on the board.
Big crowd on hand tonight. A lot of Darlington Tigers fans here, but as you pointed out at the beginning of the game, it's really impressive how this Bremen Blue Devils team has brought their fans out to this football game. They're excited about this program. They've been a playoff team for the last several years, had a lot of success, and the fans are showing up in numbers to watch them play. They're a good football team. Bremen lines up with 3rd down and 7. In the gun, 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Ball is in the air. It's going to be an incomplete pass. Intended receiver Judson White, little out of his reach, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, just a high ball there by Tucker Hendricks. He wasn't pressured. He just didn't throw a very good pass. I'm not sure what kind of range Bremen's kicker has, but it looks as if they're going to keep the offense on the field and go for it. It'd be a long kick. It'd be about a 46-yarder, 47-yarder, so they're going to go for it.
So from the gun with 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near, it's 4th down and 6. Hendricks in at quarterback, getting ready to take the snap here momentarily. And let's see if the Darlington defense can hold him. He drops back in the pocket, has company, and he is going to be pulled down by Tyler Watkins. And I believe, well, obviously it's going to be a turnover on downs. That was a big play by Watkins.
Yeah, I think he was down before that ball came loose. It looked like it. He looked like he was going to try to force that pass. But either way, Darlington takes over. The Darlington defense dials up a corner blitz. Watkins makes a heck of a play there to get the sack. And there's 29 seconds on the clock. And Darlington has 2 timeouts. Let's see how aggressive Tommy Atha and Brent Bell decide to be here. If you could steal 3 points with a kicker like Brinson Sumner, if you could pick up, I mean, really, you got to get down to around the 30-yard line to get into his range. But we'll see if they take a couple of shots or if they just take a knee and go to the locker room.
So Darlington back to the line of scrimmage.
That looks like the choice.
Yep, they're going to line up under center, and we'll take a knee, and we'll take this thing to the second half. But, hey, Ian, you get a stop there, force them to turn it over on downs. As we've pointed out a couple of times in the last couple of minutes, you're going into the locker room with the momentum and getting the opening kickoff of the second half all tied up at 7 apiece. All in all, good first half.
Yeah, the way Bremen moved the ball on those last few possessions to get to the locker room tied at 7, that's a win for Darlington. They can go regroup and come out, and they get to start the second half with the ball and see if they can take their first lead.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a timeout, our first timeout of the halftime period. We're so glad you've decided to join us tonight, whether you're listening on the radio on WLAQ or if you're watching the video stream. We're having a heck of a fun time bringing these games to you here on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network. Great team chemistry, playing some really good football, and you can see the improvements from week to week. So this has been a really fun team to watch throughout the first 6 weeks of the season. It's hard to believe this is the 6th game.
It has, and this game is setting up for a dogfight that's going to go down to the last possession, if you ask me, Matt. These teams are very evenly matched. Both are moving the ball well on offense. we'll see which defense can make the adjustments at halftime.
Indeed. Well, we're going to send it back to the studio, all tied up at 7 apiece. Darlington and Bremen, don't go anywhere. This is going to be a fun second half, and we'll be back on WLAQ. Well, super glad to be back with you here from Chris Hunter Stadium, Jerry Sharp Field by the lakeside. And, man, what a great night for a football game. The weather is perfect. It's nice and cool. You have virtually no wind out there, so it looks like the fans with, decent jackets out there, they look very comfortable and having a good time and watching a really, really good football game.
Yeah, it went by really quick, but you've got two explosive offenses going at each other. As Bremen was able to move the ball up and down the field pretty much at will, but Darlington bent but did not break. Patrick Shelley with a big interception in the end zone to stop their second drive. Darlington had to punt it away after going 3 and out, and then Bremen was threatening again, had a couple of penalties. He had a huge sack there at the end of the half by Tyler Watkins that put that to bed, and we're all knotted up at 7 going into the second half.
Indeed. I want to give you an update on the baseball game going on tonight. Houston right now is up over Tampa Bay 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th, and so it looks like Houston may force another game in that series to take place. So that'll be interesting to see that happen. It creates all kinds of scenarios for us on the radio if the Braves end up losing tonight. So we'll see what happens with that situation as it unfolds tonight.
Yeah, Houston won on a walk-off last night. Was that right?
I really don't know. I haven't
think
been
so.
following that series very closely. I've just been paying attention to the Braves. So
Yeah, nobody likes the Astros, but here they are making a run at it.
Indeed. And I do want to mention that coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to have Randy Davis on, one of the hosts, also Lenny B., the other host of the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. He's going to run down some scores for us in just a few minutes. And I do want to mention, with that in mind, that coming up tonight, we will not have, at the end of the game, the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. The Braves first pitch against the Dodgers tonight in Game 5 of the NLCS, with the Braves up 3-1 in that series, with an opportunity to close it out and get ready to play for a World Series coming up next week. That would be really exciting to see that take place. Well, that game is going to start at 9:08, and as soon as our game's over, we're going to have a very brief wrap-up show and award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game, and then we're going to turn it over to the Braves Radio Network and join that game in progress. And we're going to listen to it on the way home tonight.
Oh, you know it.
Right on the Bravos.
You know it. Can't wait, but excited about what's going to unfold here at Chris Hunter Stadium, as we've got a really great second half to look forward to.
Well, we have a lot to do here in our halftime period, so we're going to take another break. And again, we appreciate our sponsors, Avery Drugs, Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery, Riverside Auto Group, also Rome Orthopedic Center, and Ware Mechanical for being with us tonight, our radio sponsors, making it possible for us to be here. So we'll send it back to the studio with Darlington and Bremen tied up at halftime, 7 apiece. And we've got 13:43 left on the clock here at halftime. Then you'll have the 3-minute mandatory warm-up period after that. So we have a ways to go before we start the second half. So let's take a breather, send it back to the studio for a break, and then we'll come back out of the break with some scores brought to you by Rome Orthopedic Center with Randy Davis in the studio. We'll be back in just a little bit from Chris Hunter Stadium. We're back with you live here, and very excited to be with you from Chris Hunter Stadium at Jerry Sharp Field by the Lakeside. 7:44 left here in our halftime period. The score is 7-7, Darlington and Bremen. It was a fun first half, and it's quite easy to go over the scoring summary because both teams would score on their opening drives. A 3-yard run capped off a very long drive for the Bremen Blue Devils of 77 yards was the length of that drive. That took almost 8 minutes, not quite 8 minutes. There was 4:13 left on the clock when they scored their first touchdown. Extra point was good. They were up 7-0. On the ensuing drive from Darlington, it would be a touchdown pass of 5 yards from Patrick Shelley to Luke Overbay and got them in the end zone to answer the bell. Extra point from Brenton Sumner was good. That was at the 10:02 mark of the second quarter, tied it up at 7 apiece. And then on the following drive for Bremen, it would be an interception to Patrick Shelley. Darlington would have to punt after a 3-and-out. And then, of course, as we ended up, going through the rest of that first half, you would have a drive for Bremen that ended up on a turnover on downs. And then Darlington would just take a knee on their final drive, the third drive of that first half for Darlington, leaving things tied up, with Darlington getting the ball to start the second half with this game tied up. Now, I thought we'd take a little time and go over some stats, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Stacy Norton and also Melvin Scott. They've been working hard, putting together the stats for us and handing them to us at halftime at the end of the game. And I got to tell you, man, keeping stats at a football game is pretty tough work.
Yeah.
It really is. So we really appreciate that. That helps us out a tremendous amount because there's no way that we could call the game and also do the stats like this at the same time. They do a tremendous job. So we'll start with Darlington, their rushing statistics. You would have 5 carries for 13 yards for Harrison Allen. So the defense from Bremen's done a pretty good job holding him at bay. I mean, we've seen him rush for over 100 yards in pretty much every game this year so far.
And it's obvious that they're out snapping Darlington by a great deal as well, because only 5 carries for Allen. That's pretty shocking stat.
It truly is. And then for Patrick Shelley, the quarterback for Darlington, he would have 5 carries for 37 yards. Passing, he was 2 of 4, but very effective for 13 yards and a touchdown pass of 5 yards to Overbay, who made a nice grab in the back of the end zone. And so receiving yards, you would have 1 catch for 8 yards for Gabe Simpkins, 1 catch for a touchdown and 5 yards for Luke Overbay. In terms of the defense for Darlington, tackles, you'd have 2 for Darius Smith, 3.5 for Harrison Allen. You would have 2 tackles for Mason McKenzie, also Joseph Marion. We talked about him. Joe Marion had 4 tackles, played excellent on defense there in that first half of play. Patrick Shelley's been everywhere, man. He picked up 6 tackles and an interception. So just an unbelievable performance from him on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. If we had to call it right now, he'd be our honeymoon bakery icing on the cake player of the game, but we got a whole other half to go.
We sure do, and it's going to be a close one, so that could go anywhere. And let's give Luke Overbay some credit there, man. First touchdown of the season for that young man. Made a great catch in the back of the end zone. I did some quick math, Matt. This is a stat that stands out to me that I'm going to share with you. Bremen out-snapped Darlington 32-14.
Wow.
I mean, that's big time, man. So Darlington's going to have to get that correct in the second half, get some more offensive plays off.
Thank you for that, man. That is definitely a telling statistic. Bowden Owens would have 1 tackle. You would have 2 for Thomas Speed. You would have 1 for Luke McDermott. Then you would have 2 for Christian McClooney. Luke Lewis would have 2. We talked about some good plays from Joey Kite tonight. He would have a tackle. And then you would have 2 for Davis Watson. And then Tyler Watkins had a big tackle that saved a big play there in that first half.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He made a couple of really good plays on that last drive alone. The sack was a standout play, but he also made an open field tackle that was really, really important and could have been a big play for Bremen. And Stacey just shared with me that Darlington only possessed the ball for 7 minutes and 20 seconds of that first half. So getting more plays off, more time of possession is going to be key if the Tigers want to win this ball game.
Indeed it will be. Now the statistics for Bremen real quick as we get ready to take our last break here of halftime. You would have, of course, Tay Banks had a big night there in that first half, 16 carries for 79 yards. You would have their quarterback, Tucker Hendricks, one of their quarterbacks, with 9 carries for 32 yards. Their other quarterback, Brooks Hardy, would have 3 carries for 15 yards. Hardy, who's more of a passing, well, I say more of a passing quarterback. They've each thrown it 4 times. But number 16, Brooks Hardy, would pass it 2 times or complete 2 of 4 passes, I should say, for 26 yards and an interception. And then for Tucker Hendricks, he would pass it 4 times, completed 2 of those passes for 20 yards. And that's pretty much your statistics from the first half. So the most important statistic is the score.
Yeah.
It's 7-7, Darlington and Bremen. We got a whole half to play, so we'll go ahead and take another timeout, catch our breath one more time, and we'll get ready for the second half. And again, Darlington will take the opening kickoff of the second half after winning the toss and deferring to the second half. So we'll send it back to the studio, all tied up at 7 apiece, for one more break here on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network. Well, we're back and almost ready for the start of the second half between the Darlington Tigers and the Bremen Blue Devils, all tied up at 7 apiece as we get ready to start the second half. We got about a minute and a half left of the mandatory warm-up period as we do get ready to begin this half. But fun first half of play. Cannot wait to watch how Darlington and Bremen here in the first game that these two teams have played against each other in 5 seasons is going to play out as this second half unfolds.
Yeah, Darlington gets a chance to set the tone this time around. They chose to let their defense go out first and deferred for the second half. And getting off the field there at the end of the second quarter, it gives them a huge opportunity to go out and possibly get a score that puts them ahead for the first time tonight.
Both teams really well coached, and I mentioned to you earlier tonight that Davis Russell, the head coach of Bremen, I believe this is his 5th season here at the helm. Well, his grandfather was Ert Russell, who was the defensive coordinator at Georgia, I think from 1964 to 1980, was the defensive coordinator of the year. They won the national championship, then went on to Georgia Southern, won a few Division I AA championships there, and was just a heck of a football coach. And so obviously that runs in the family.
It sure does, and I know he's using one of his mottos that we can't share with you on the line.
They got it on the T-shirts.
Yeah, they do, but we won't share what it means, I guess. But anyway.
It's Gata, and there's an interesting story about the origin of that I was reading about today, and I'll share that with you coming up in a little bit. But Darlington's about to receive the opening kickoff of the second half as Bremen is just about to tee it up, and we'll get underway with this half. But the origin of that, Gata, G-A-T-A, it dates back to a game in which Georgia was playing Georgia Tech. I believe it was at Georgia Tech, and there was something that said GTAA, Georgia Tech Athletic Association, and apparently Georgia was really struggling in that first half, and at halftime, Ert Russell changed the letters around and made it mean get after there. Well, whatever that A stands for. There's the kickoff, and we are underway with the second half. That's going to drop at the 9. It's going to be fielded and brought out by Luke McDermott, and a pretty good return brings them out to the 23. That's where they're going to set up shop.
All right, Darlington's got a chance to go out and set the tone here in what was a back-and-forth first half.
So 23-yard lines where Darlington's going to set up shop. And, Ian, I know we just getting started with this second half, but the gravity of this drive just feels great to me right now.
Patrick Shelley played great in that first half, man, making plays with his arms and his legs. He'll look to continue to do that, but you know they want to establish Harrison Allen in this second half. Only 5 carries for him in the first, so I think we're going to get a huge dose of this Darlington running game. But Shelley's going out wide.
Indeed he is, and let's see who they snap the ball to. It's going straight to Allen, who's going to run the football from the Wildcats, going to run to the near side, pick up maybe 3 yards on that play. So as you mentioned, a different look there in terms of that formation and the snap.
Yeah, Allen out of that Wildcat. It was a little bit of a high snap, but he was able to wrangle it and pick up a couple of yards, setting up a 2nd and 7 here.
So 2 wide receivers to the far side, 2 to the near with Shelley back in the gun, Harrison Allen in the backfield. Darlington working from right to left here in this third quarter of play, all tied up at 7, just underway with the quarter. And Shelley waits on the snap. There it is. He's going to pitch it to the near side to Allen, who runs out to the edge and maybe picks up 2 or 3 yards, setting up a 3rd and about 5, I'm guessing, once everything shakes out.
I think he got a little more than it looks like. Yeah, it's right there on the 30-yard line. He'll set up a 3rd and 3.
So the ball is going to be just shy of the 30-yard line. Darlington working it out of their own territory, looking to put together a big drive here to start the second half of play. They're going to send 2 wide receivers. It's going to be Bagby on the far side. At the slot is going to be Thomas Bethel here on that far side. 2 wide receivers to the near side. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. And Allen runs out to the edge, finds some room, gets the first down and a couple of more yards to boot.
Yeah, nice start. Big play there, man. Darlington really needs to move the chains on this drive and set the tone. Harrison Allen got 2 carries on that set of downs and was able to pick up the first down.
37-yard line where the ball is going to be spotted here with this fresh set of downs for Darlington. Thomas Bethel's going to come over to the near side. So you're going to have, it looks like, 3 wide receivers to the near side and Bagby off to the far side. Allen's going to be right behind Shelley in a sort of pistol look. There's the snap. He's going to hand it off, going to Allen, bulldozes his way through, stays up, gets through to the second level and picks up about 8 yards.
Yeah.
That was a big, hard run.
Absolutely. Looked like it was going to be a minimal gain, and Allen just kept those legs driving, moving forward. Able to break 2 or 3 tackles. The Bremen players were trying to strip the ball. He made them pay for that and picked up an extra 6 yards after first contact.
So Bethel and Speed are going to be on the near side, Bagby on the far side. Allen in the backfield with Shelley. There's the snap, little high, pulls it down, is going to tuck it and run, gets the first down, stays up, nice move, ball's out, and it looks like Bremen's picked it up.
And he was down, Matt. Now, unfortunately, I mean, I will look at it on the replay here, but I think his knee was down. Here we go. There's first contact. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, and we don't have the benefit of instant replay. So a big turnover there as Bremen will take over on their own 42. Shelley was fighting for extra yards. That knee could have been down, but it was ruled a fumble.
So let's see who Bremen will line up at quarterback as they get their first drive of the second half after the fumble. They're going to line up with Banks in the backfield, and there's the snap to Hendrick. He goes off to the left and finds some room, stays up, and gashes them for about 8.
That play is so unimpressive, yet it just keeps working. Hendricks just kind of takes his time, methodically gets out to the edge, and then he cuts it back in and seems to pick up 5 to 7 yards every time they run it.
That's going to bring up 2nd and 2. Now with the ball right at the middle of the field with Bremen with the football, all tied up at 7 apiece. After the Darlington turnover, they're going to line up in the pistol with a wide receiver to the far side, couple on the near side. Banks is standing right behind the quarterback. And we mentioned, too, he had over 70 yards there in the first half. Now Banks flanked to the left side of the quarterback. They're going to run it that way with the quarterback toting the rock, and he picked up a yard. I think the defense got a stop there.
Yeah, nice tackle there. Good pursuit, and that will set up a 3rd and a long one, maybe 2 yards.
Stay tuned after tonight's game. It's going to be the Braves and the Dodgers in the NLCS Game 5. Braves lead the series after winning last night 3-1. They could lock this thing up tonight and head to the World Series. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be a lot of fun.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide on the near side, 1 on the far side for Bremen. 3rd down and a long one. Here comes the snap to Hendricks. He'll get it and hand it off, and that's going to be a good stop by the defense.
What a stop. That time Hendricks decided to go ahead and give the ball to Banks, and the Darlington defense was all over it. He lost 1.5 yards, and while the Bremen offense is begging to go for it, you'd imagine they would punt here, but we'll see.
So this is 4th and 3, and you're right. They're showing they're going to go for it. Back to the line of scrimmage in a hurry from the gun. 3 wide receivers tucked in right on the far side of the formation. And the quarterback's going to take the snap, and he rolls out to the left side, and that's going to be a 1st down and then some. He's running down the sidelines, gets it all the way down to about the 32 before they haul him out of bounds.
It's that same quarterback run off left tackle, and it has worked all night, and on a big-time 4th down, they were able to pick it up and then some.
So the chains move, and now Bremen is moving the ball fairly deep into Darlington territory at the 32 with a fresh set of downs. 7:44 left, 3rd quarter, all tied up at 7 apiece. They'll line up in the gun this time. Hendricks and also the other quarterback, Brooks Hardy, is out there as well right beside him. They're going to snap it to Hendricks, and he is going to run it off to the near far side, and he cuts back in and picks up about 8 yards. That was another good run.
Tyler Watkins lost his lid. He'll have to come out. He made the tackle there. It looked like Hendricks might break that out to the right and take it to the house.
Luke Overbay comes in for Tyler Watkins. 2nd down and 5 here for Bremen as they now got the ball about the 27-yard line in Darlington territory, pushing it closer to the red zone.
Man, it looked like the Tigers were going to get off the field, and then Bremen rolls the dice and goes for it on 4th down and has no problem picking it up. And now are looking like they have a scoring opportunity.
Both quarterbacks are back there in the backfield again for this set, Hendricks and Hardy. And they're going to snap it to Hendricks again. He goes off to the left side, finds plenty of room, and gets another 1st down. He's going to have it right outside of the red zone.
It's a sweet play with an extra blocker. He just takes the snap and follows his lead blocker, which happens to be the other quarterback, Brooks Hardy. And it has been working all night. I don't think the Tigers have stopped it.
Unbelievable. Ball's going to be spotted at the 21. So Bremen with it right outside of the red zone All tied up 7 apiece, but that could change here in a few moments. 6:40 left here in the third quarter as they get ready for first down. They'll run to the line of scrimmage, shotgun formation. Everybody else is in tight. Both quarterbacks are in the backfield standing beside each other. They're going to snap it this time to Hardy. He goes to the left side and stays up and gashes them for another 6 yards.
And a few more.
And then tacks on more after contact. I thought they were going to get him down.
Tell you what, same play, different quarterback, similar results.
No question about it. So that's going to bring up a second down and about 3 here for this Bremen offense. And Darlington's just really having a hard time, as you say, stopping that run, those sweep plays that they're running to the far side.
Yeah, the left side of the Bremen offensive line is obviously doing a good job creating those running lanes.
So shotgun formation, everybody in tight. There's the snap. They're going with Hendricks this time. There was a nice block by Hardy, and he cuts inside, stays up, and he is going to get it down to about the 6-yard line, another first down.
I'm going to take a wild guess here and say this is going to be a sweep play to the left on this next snap.
Well, until Darlington can stop it, why wouldn't you stick with what's working for you?
It is definitely working.
So Bremen goes back to the line of scrimmage now with first and goal with 5:34 left here in the third quarter. We're all tied up at 7 apiece. And Darlington's going to try to pin their ears back on defense and try to not let that change. Shotgun formation. There's the snap. They're going with Hardy this time. Runs up the middle. He's inside the 5, and he's going to be brought down. I think his forward progress probably stopped at the 5.
They kept it between the tackles that time for a change of pace, and it didn't work out for him. Thomas Speed shaking up on the play. Looks like it might be his ankle.
Well, you got your crystal ball there. What do you think they're going to do on this down?
I think, if I'm them, I'm going back to that sweep. But we'll see. We'll see.
Under 5 minutes to play. They're going to run back to the line of scrimmage. Same formation as the last several plays. They're going with Hendricks. They're running the sweep. They're diving towards the end zone. And guess what? They're going to be a little bit short.
Just a little bit.
I believe that was Bowden Owens with the stop.
Yeah, and this will be 2 down territories. They got that down to the 1-yard line. Well, the Tigers could use a play here.
So third down and goal here for the Blue Devils. They've got it on the 2. 4:26 clock ticking here in this third quarter. 20 seconds left on the play clock. Hendricks has got him in the huddle. All other quarterbacks in there too, Brooks, Hardy. And they are standing side by side. Who are they going to snap it to? Hardy. He runs forward, bulldozes into the end zone. That's a 2-yard touchdown for the Bremen Blue Devils.
Impressive drive there by Bremen. They were able to cash in on the first Darlington turnover of the night, a fumble by Patrick Shelley. And then they marched at 58 yards, methodically running pretty much a quarterback sweep the whole way, and now have retaken the lead. PAT pending. It's 13-7 right now.
So on for the PAT is the kicker for Bremen. That's number 13, Derringer, and it's through the uprights and good. And we got a 14-7 ball game in favor of the Blue Devils.
And Darlington will need to do what they did after Bremen scored in the first half and answer the bell.
Indeed they will, Ian. Of course, the Darlington Tigers had the ball for the first drive of the second half. They started at their own 23, picked up a first down. On the next series of downs, you would have a fumble, and they would turn the ball over to Bremen, who would march the ball down the field and score on a 2-yard run from Brooks Hardy, one of the quarterbacks for this Bremen football team. And now they lead at 14-7 with 4:07 left in the third quarter.
And this quarter's slipping away pretty quickly as well, as both these teams are pounding the rock, and the clock just melts away when that happens.
And when I was talking to Coach Atha yesterday, taping our pregame interview, I brought up the fact they hadn't played Bremen in about 5 years, but this is one of those matchups that just feels like a rivalry. And his comment right away was, there will be no shortage of enthusiasm for either team, acknowledging that fact. And these two teams are really getting after each other tonight.
Yeah, it's been a hard-hitting, hard-fought contest. And it's all about counter-punching at this point. Darlington picked themselves off the mat once. Can they do it again?
Brody Derringer is going to kick it off now for this Bremen football team. Got 2 men back standing at around the 17-yard line here for Darlington. That's going to be a kick that will land at about the 10. It'll be fielded and brought out by the Tigers, and they are going to get it out to about the 25-yard line before he's brought down. And I could not catch his number. Was that?
It was Thomas Bethel.
Thomas Bethel.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, for the help.
No problem. No problem.
6 is out there. 3 is out there. 22.
So anyway, the Darlington Tigers are going to get ready to line the ball up at their own 27-yard line here to begin their second drive of the second half. We're still in the third quarter with 4 minutes left to play. Bremen just took the lead, scoring a touchdown on a 2-yard run from Hardy, and lead at 14-7.
And you know the Tigers want to get things cooking. They had it going on that first drive. The turnover just put the brakes on it, so we'll see if they continue to come at it with the same attack.
Shotgun formation, 4-wide set. Allen in the backfield. They'll toss to him, and right away he's going to be dropped by Dalton Payne for a loss. That was a big play by their defense.
Yeah, puts Darlington back behind the sticks. That'll be a 2nd and 14 or 15, 16. 6 yards lost on that first play of the series.
So now the ball is going to be spotted at the 21-yard line after the 6-yard loss on first down, and Darlington's got to go back to the drawing board. They got to find a way to string some plays together and swing this momentum back in their favor. Wide receiver to the far side, couple to the near. Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley. Darius Smith goes in motion.
We're going to have a penalty.
That's going to be another 5-yard penalty against Darlington before the snap.
They had a few procedure penalties in the first half, and that's rearing its ugly head again here, and that'll put them at 2nd and 21.
Whew. So on the first down play, they would get tackled for a loss of 6 yards and a 5-yard penalty, and as you mentioned, 2nd and 21, and now they're going to snap it from the 16-yard line. There's the snap, fake by Shelley's dropping back, looking to throw to Allen, who came out of the backfield. He's got all kind of green grass to the 40, 35, 30, 25, 25. Gone. Touchdown, Harrison Allen of the Darlington Tigers on a big play coming out of the backfield on a screen.
Absolutely. Shelley play action to Harrison and rolled out to his right, took 2 steps, and it was a throwback, and it was wide open. Allen was able to have the wheels to take that to the house, and just when things were looking really bad for the Darlington Tigers, they make the biggest play of the game. What a play, and this is an even game now. We're just waiting on Sumner to pop this extra point through, and we'll be all knotted up at 14.
Caught that ball at the 28-yard line on Darlington's side of the field, marched it all the way down the field into the end zone. So, again, a huge play there for the Tigers. Sumner on to try to tack on the extra point and tie this football game up with under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. And I got a feeling he's going to be able to handle it. The kick is up, and it is through, and we are knotted up at 14 apiece. What an answer.
Man, they needed it. 2nd and 21. They had taken a 6-yard loss on first down, followed that up with a false start, so they were moving in the wrong direction. What a great play call from Brent Bell. Great execution there by Patrick Shelley, Harrison Allen, and all the Darlington offense.
What was that, a 79-yard
Yeah,
run?
79-yard touchdown.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
79-yard touchdown pass from Shelley over to Allen. What a fantastic play that was. Great play call by Brent Bell and the Darlington coaching staff there. And, again, we're tied up at 14 apiece, under 3 minutes to play third quarter.
Longest play of the season for Darlington there. If I'm not correct, you can let me know, Matt, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
All right. The only downside of that is this Darlington defense has just been on the field all night, and they're going to have to go out there and find a way to get a stop and get that offense the ball back.
Well, Brinson Sumner's going to tee it up from the 40, and they will kick it back to the Bremen football team. And right now we're tied up at 14 apiece. I got a feeling this game is going to go deep into the fourth quarter, Ian.
It certainly looks that way.
We'll see what happens. We got a long way to go before we get to that point. So we are going to watch Sumner tee it up right now. He's got it ready to roll. 9:07 Braves are just about to start, and we'll get you to that game as soon as this game is over with. But don't go anywhere, folks. We got a good one brewing here at Chris Hunter Stadium. That is going to be fielded. Ball's dropped. It's loose. It's picked up by Bremen, and good recovery there from that young man, but that could have been disastrous.
Yeah, and sometimes you see that gets the pursuit of the kicking team off, and you'll watch a guy who bobbles it and is able to pop a return. That time Darlington was there, jumped all over it, and this is the worst starting field position of the night for Bremen.
So Bremen is going to line up at their own 17-yard line to start this drive with 2:51 left to go here in our third quarter, all tied up at 14 apiece. And let's see who they got in at quarterback this time. It was an interesting drive that last time, trading runs between the two different quarterbacks, but I believe it's Hendricks in this time. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. Bouncing out to the inside path is going to be Banks, who's done a tremendous job and picks up a big run of about 5 or 6 yards, I'm guessing.
We've called Tyler Watkins' name a lot tonight, and that's because he keeps making plays. Great tackle there. 5 of them on the night.
So a gain of 5 there again for Banks. That brings up 2nd and 5 here from the 22-yard line for the Bremen Blue Devils. They'll go back to the line of scrimmage with closing in on the 2-minute mark. They'll line up in a pistol with 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side, working from left to right. And Hendricks in at quarterback, getting ready to take the snap here on 2nd and 5. Man goes in motion, and here comes the snap. He's going to hand it off. They try to go up the middle, and they find a little bit of room, maybe 2 yards, but the defense holds pretty steady there.
And now getting off the field on 3rd down. It's been a problem tonight. Last time they actually stopped them on 3rd down, and they were able to pick it up on 4th. But a 3rd and 3 for the Bremen offense.
So here we're waiting for the snap to Hendricks. He looks off to the sidelines. He's got Banks in the backfield. 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near side. And now he gets ready to take the snap. And it's in his hands. He's coming to the near side. He's going to run it all the way, and he's able to stay up and get a few yards. I couldn't tell from the angle. I was screened, but he got the first down.
Yeah, he did get the first down. Watkins had a shot at him, but he was able to shake that tackle and make another guy miss. So another 3rd down conversion for the Bremen offense. I've got them at 5 for 8 on the night. I may be off by 1 or 2, but they've been pretty successful, and they've been able to keep themselves in 3rd manageable all night.
Those are the balls on the 30-yard line. Bremen still in their own territory, all tied up at 14 apiece with 1:17 left here in the third quarter. Hendricks in at quarterback with 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near, taking their time in between snaps. We're down to 8 seconds left on the play clock, now 5. Hendricks will take the snap, fakes the handoff, runs off to the far side, trying to find some running lane, and he's got 3 or 4 Tigers on him, but a flag's on the field. This is going to be either a hold or...
And this could really swing one minute. This should be a hold, and
Yep,
that is
there
what.
it is.
Yeah, so that's going to back that Bremen offense up, put them in 1st and 20. Now, the last time they got behind the chains like this, they were able to complete a pass. They haven't thrown the ball a lot tonight, but when they have, they've had success. And most of those passes have gone to a gentleman by the name of Brady Hassenfuss, who has really played well and shown he's got the hands to catch it in traffic. Good route runner. So we'll see. But forcing Bremen to pass has got to be an objective for this Darlington defense.
So 1st down and close to 20. Ball is going to be on the 21-yard line. And now they're going to line up in a shotgun formation with 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near, and nobody in the backfield there with Mr. Hendricks. Actually, no, this is Hardy this time. Throws a deep ball, and boy, he extends his arms, tries to catch it, and the ball comes out. That was a great effort by the wide receiver, Matthews.
Yeah, I tell you what, Hardy threw that where he had to. Matthews, full extension, laid out to catch that ball, and it looked like he had it. He had it all the way to the ground, but he just couldn't keep it, and that'll set up 2nd and 19 for the Bremen Blue Devils.
He hauls that in, and that's a Sports Center type of
It
catch
is,
right
absolutely.
there. That was an empty backfield, 2nd down, and still 20 to go. Few wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. As we get ready for Hardy to take the snap, he's got it, puts it up the middle of the field, connects with Brady Hassenfuss, and he's going to be brought down after a pickup of close to 10.
And I believe Tyler Watkins was in on the stop again. Let me make sure I have that right. Yep, that's tackle number 6 for number 6.
Still in at quarterback here for Bremen is going to be Brooks Hardy. He's definitely more of the deep ball threat. Has a pretty live arm. They're going to send 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Empty backfield here for Hardy as he gets ready to take the snap from the gun.
And it'll be interesting to see if Darlington dials up the pressure here.
And here's the snap. There's the pressure, and he's going to tuck it and run, and that is going to be a stop. Brings up 4th down and about 6. And that is the end of the third quarter. So we into the third quarter, 4th down and 7 coming up here when we come back. It's 14 apiece. Darlington and Bremen, fun first 3 quarters. We're getting ready for the final frame when we come back in 1 minute. Ooh. We're back here from Chris Hunter Stadium, and it looks like Bremen will punt the football away, and it's going to be a fairly short kick, drops at the 50 and goes out of bounds. So good field position for the Tigers to start the fourth quarter, all tied up at 14 apiece.
Yeah, and Darlington, before we went to the break there on the last play of the third quarter, they finally forced Bremen into a 3rd and long. First time all night, they've been in an obvious passing situation on 3rd down. And Darlington dialed up the heat and was able to get the stop, and Bremen had to punt it away. Not a good punt, and Darlington takes over at the 50-yard line with a chance to take their first lead of the ball game. This is going to be a heck of a finish, Matt. You just feel it.
Indeed it is. We got a whale of a ball game brewing for you tonight. Don't go anywhere, and then stay tuned afterwards. It's the National League Championship Series, Game 5 between the Braves and the Dodgers. So we got a heck of a night of sports for you on WLAQ.
It's going to be a good weekend.
It is, man. It really is. So they'll line up in shotgun, talking about the Tigers working left to right from the 50 and immediately have to call a timeout. That's got to be very frustrating right there.
Yeah, absolutely. But you want to make sure you have your ducks in a row. So
we're going to keep it right here through this timeout as we just took one at the end of the third quarter. And while we got a little moment here, I'm going to go ahead and look up the score from that Houston game. It's 7-2, Houston over Tampa Bay. They're in the bottom of the 7th. And do we have any updated scores courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center that you know of? High school scores?
Let's take a peek, Matt, and see what we have. I know Rome is up 14-0 and driving on Dalton. Fannin County up 22-15 over Pepperell. Model 21-6 over Coosa. Cartersville running away with it 45-0 over Cass. Rockmart is up 28-14 on North Murray. Lakeview still up 14-7 on Sonoraville. Our Murchie Trails Mount Zion 17-7 at the half. Ringgold 16-14 over Adairsville in the third quarter. And Cedartown has fought back. They were trailing 14-0. Is now 14-13 against Pickens County, which is a surprising score. So there's something in the air tonight, Matt. Calhoun also up 40-7 over Hiram.
We got a good one here. Darlington and Bremen knotted up at 14 apiece, just underway with the fourth quarter. Darlington with the football in the gun at the 50-yard line. Here's first down. Patrick Shelley is going to roll to his right, passes to Thomas Bethel, complete, but that's going to be a pickup of maybe a yard or two on first down.
About a yard there. Bethel had to dive to catch that, so there was no chance to really pick up any significant yardage.
As a train passes by here behind the stadium.
Is that number 1 for the night?
I don't remember.
No, number 2.
Number 2, okay.
Yeah, scoreboard says number 2.
Well, we'll go with that. I don't remember the first one. I guess I'm so into the game I didn't even notice it. 4 wide receiver set. Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Tigers here in the fourth quarter, tied at 14 apiece. Shelley drops back looking to throw. He had some pressure, but he makes a great throw, and that's going to be a first down. Was that Thomas Speed?
It was Thomas Speed. We haven't called Thomas Speed's name other than when he came up a little gimpy on his ankle on a defensive play earlier, but that time just a nice little slant pattern. Shelley threw the ball a little bit high, but Speed reeled it in and picks up a huge first down.
Allen in the backfield, 4 wide set, 2 on each side. Allen looks off to the sidelines to offensive coordinator Brent Bell. Getting ready for this 1st and 10 here from the 40-yard line on Bremen's side of the field. Shelley from the gun takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Allen. Actually, he kept the ball and tried to go up the middle, but the defense held strong and stopped him for a loss.
Yeah, Bremen was all over that read option. It didn't matter. Had he given it to Allen, he would have gone down. He avoided maybe losing some additional yardage by keeping it, but well defended there by the Blue Devils.
So 2nd down and 12 coming up here for Darlington, all tied up at 14 apiece. We're almost down to the 10-minute mark of this football game. Going to have 2 wide on each side of the formation with Allen in the backfield. Darlington and Bremen giving us a good one tonight. Everybody that paid to get in, getting their money's worth. There's the snap, drops back, looking to throw, and that's going to be behind the wide receiver, Thomas Speed, an incomplete pass.
Tipped at the line, too, so the defensive end there got, oh, no, it was the linebacker that actually jumped up and made that play. Number 18, Carter Taylor for Bremen, deflected that, and that puts Darlington in 3rd and long.
So Allen stays on for this package. He'll be out there with Patrick Shelley in the backfield. 2 wide receivers to the far side. In the slot is Tyler Watkins. Also out there is going to be Speed on that far side. Here to the near side, you got Bagby and Bethel. And they will stack the wide receivers on each side. Here comes the snap to Shelley. Drops back, looking to throw, and he is going to have to tuck the football and run. Everybody was covered, and he is going to be brought down for a loss, and he's lucky the ball didn't come out.
Yeah, he is that, and he had some time there, just good coverage downfield by the Blue Devil defense. So these defenses have both stepped up, and Darlington had a chance to take their first lead of the night, had a first down at the 40, couldn't cash in. They're going to have to punt this thing away and see if they can get another stop.
So Brinson Sumner, who in the game against Heritage a couple of weeks ago pinned the Generals back inside the 10. Let's see if he can pin them back deep and make them go a long way here. One man back here for the Bremen Blue Devils. That's going to be Judson White. There's the kick. He's got some pretty decent air. He'll signal a fair catch and fall down with it at the 10-yard line. So
beautiful
good
punt. Great hang time. No chance for a return. And you're going to make them drive the field.
Indeed, and we have 9:05 left to go in this football game. If you'll remember, the very first drive of the game, Bremen held on to the ball for almost 8 minutes before they scored, so they certainly have the type of offense that can chew up the clock in a hurry. So they'll line up in shotgun with everybody in tight. There's the snap. They're going to run it off to the right side with their quarterback Hendricks on a sweep, and that is going to be a pickup of maybe 3 or 4.
And one major difference I've seen from this Bremen offense is they're breaking the huddle, rushing to the line, and snapping the ball really quick to try to catch this Darlington defense off balance.
Stay tuned after the game for very quick post game as we get you ready for Braves baseball. We'll award the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. That'll be about it. Get ready for the quarterback to take the snap here for Bremen with 2nd down and 6 forthcoming. There's the snap. They're going to go off to the right side with the quarterback. He's dropped. I don't think he got anything.
No, Luke Overbay on the tackle there. Good job playing the sweep play. This time they're ready for the sweep play. They've got him in 3rd and long again. Be interesting to see how Bremen decides to attack this 3rd and 6. They have not been afraid to go for it on fourth down, even on their side of the field, but this would be different territories. They're only at their own 15-yard line.
Bremen in the huddle, dialing things up here for their 3rd down and 6, coming up with the ball on their own 15. Shotgun formation, 3 wide set. Quarterback looks off to the sidelines. In at quarterback right now is Brooks Hardy. They've been shifting their 2 quarterbacks in and out of the game. Here's the snap. He's dropping back, looking to throw. Puts a good spiral on it, and that is going to be a great catch. And he's got lots of green grass going towards the end zone as Blake Matthews, and that'll be a touchdown, and Bremen regains the lead.
I tell you what, Matthews almost made the circus catch on the last drive. That time, Hardy put some air under it. Matthews made the catch. The coverage was actually very good by the Darlington defender, but he fell down trying to break it up, and Matthews was able to coast into the end zone for a 85-yard touchdown. Yeah.
Yep. The pass from Hardy to Matthews, an 85-yard play.
And it was Luke McDermott in coverage, and look, he was right there running with the receiver. It was just a great pass and catch. And when McDermott went down, it was an easy waltz into the end zone.
Brody Derringer on for the extra point. The kick is on the way, and it is good, and it is 21-14. 8:01 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Hey, so far when Darlington has been knocked out, they've been able to get up off the mat and answer. They'll have to do it again. Plenty of time left in this football game. Looks like they were going to get another stop, but Bremen was able to hit the big play, which Darlington did to them not too long ago when Patrick Shelley found Harrison Allen for a 75-yard touchdown.
85-yard touchdown play from Hardy on the pass to Matthews. They're able to connect, and therefore, again, 21-14 is your score. 8:01 left in this football game. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little check on that Braves game. You got that pulled up?
I've got it pulled up there in the bottom of the 1st. So Mentor was able to work 1 inning already, and Freeman is on second with 1 out. So I believe he doubled in his first appearance. And, man, Freddie has just been rock solid all year.
I'm really hoping the Braves can pick up that win tonight and win the National League Championship Series and get ready for the World Series. Feeling pretty good about it, to be honest with you right now.
Yeah. At 3-1, you're feeling good. If the Dodgers find a way to win, my nerves will come back really quick. I'm sure we all had some deja vu in that 11-run first inning a few nights ago. Ooh. So glad to see him bounce back last night. And, man, it would be sweet to get back to the World Series.
Derringer with the ball teed up at the 40, ready to kick it back to the Darlington Tigers. Tigers in a position to really have to answer the bell here on this drive. 8 minutes to go, so still a lot of time. There is the kick, and it is going to be returned from the 10. With the ball is McDermott. Got a good head full of steam and got it out to the 25. That was a pretty hard return.
And that's where they will set up shop for this possession. And you've got to score here. Yeah, I mean, you've got to answer the bell, like you said, Matt. And the Darlington faithful are trying to pump them up.
Trying to feed a little energy to these young men out here battling tonight. And we talked to you about it earlier. Bremen comes out of that Region 5AA, which is one of the toughest regions in the state. And when you look at the region, there was some shifting around because of alignment. All 5 of those teams last year made the playoffs out of their region. So that's going to be a tough battle throughout the year. All those teams are very good. There's the snap. And it's going to be a run up the middle. That was Thomas Bethel that took the snap, and he picked up about 6 yards, so it was effective.
Yeah, they line up in the Wildcat, so it's Bethel and Allen that were in the backfield there. Bethel kept it on the read, was able to pick up some good yardage.
So Shelley back on for this play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 5 with the ball now on the 31-yard line. Darlington still in their own territory, really needing to put together a good drive here and come out with a touchdown. Shelley from the gun with a 3-wide set. Bethel goes in motion. They're going to hand it to Allen. He goes up the middle, finds some room, and he got the first down, it looks like.
Yeah. And a couple of extra yards.
So good hard run there by Allen. Moves the chains. And we'll see Tyler Watkins run out onto the field here for this package. Will Bagby's out there as well. Shelley runs him into the huddle. They'll come back to the line of scrimmage with a fresh set of downs with the ball now at the 38-yard line, still in their own territory. Shelley in the gun. Allen in the backfield. 3 wide far side, 1 near side. They're going to hand it off, and that reverse, it's going to be put in the air by Bethel to Shelley. He's across the 50, down close to the 40 before they reel him in and haul him out of bounds. Another big play there for the Tigers.
Yeah, so a reverse throwback to the quarterback, Patrick Shelley, picks up a bunch of yards. And there's the trick play we've been waiting on.
You knew it was coming, you just didn't know when.
Nice toss by Bethel, too, because the linebacker come up and really made a nice attempt to tip that ball. Good touch on the throw from Thomas Bethel back to his quarterback, Patrick Shelley.
You're not kidding, man. 41-yard line. Darlington now in Bremen Blue Devil territory with 1st and 10, trailing 21-7 to the Blue Devils. Shotgun formation, Allen in the backfield, 4 wide set. They're going to fake the handoff to Allen. Shelley keeps the legs turning and gets a couple of yards. Those were hard yards right there.
I tell you what, Bremen has really defended that read option well all night, but in the second half they have been particularly good at snuffing that play out. There's really not a right decision there. All right, they're going to line up and kick this thing or take a timeout and think about it.
All right, well, we're going to keep it right here through this timeout. Don't want to miss anything.
I've got
here.
some good news outside of the fact that Darlington just scored a touchdown. The Braves are up 1-0. Travis Darno hit a sacrifice fly. Freddie Freeman scored the run, and the Braves have an early lead.
And we're going to join that game as soon as this one's over, but we're not done yet. 1:17 left to go in this football game. Darlington has just punched in a score from the 1-yard line. Shelley punched it in on a quarterback dive into the end zone, and now we've got a 21-20 game. Darlington has taken a timeout to talk things over. Will they punch it through with Brinson Sumner and tie it up, or will they go for 2 and try to win it? I'm saying roll the dice. I mean, we'll see what they decide to do here, but this is one of those situations where you definitely have something to think about. I'm really curious to see the strategy they take here.
Bottom line is Bremen just showed you that they can score quickly. They hit a 85-yard bomb. They've got 3 timeouts, and Darlington is not going to get the ball back in regulation. So do you play for overtime and hope you can stop Bremen, or do you try to take the lead here? I can't blame you either way.
Yeah,
I really can't, but I mean, they took a timeout, and I think they're going to march out here and try to win this ball game.
I love it. Darlington goes back to the line of scrimmage. Shelley is out there. They're going for the win here. They're playing to win. 1:17 left in the game. 21-20. Darlington can get the 2-point conversion here. They will take the lead for the first time of the football game. Shelley getting ready to take the snap. There it is. He rolls to the near side, trying to find somewhere to throw. He's got to tuck it and run, and they do not convert, and Bremen maintains the lead. But again, Ian, you can't blame them for trying to win the football game.
No, you sure can't, Matt. And you've got to play, when you call that 2-point play, you're calling a play you love. It was a designed throwback. Shelley rolled to his right and was going to throw it back to Thomas Speed over there in the corner of the end zone. It was well defended. Shelley didn't have it, tried to pull it down and run, and could not get to the goal line. So, unfortunately, that might be the way this thing is wrapped up tonight, Matt. Just short for the Darlington Tigers.
21-20. Bremen leads it by 1 point. 1:17 left to go in this football game. And as you mentioned earlier, Bremen still has their timeouts.
You know, the only trick we haven't seen from Brinson Sumner this year? An onside kick. And they still have that opportunity. So
let's see what happens.
He's shown us he's a heck of a punter, a heck of a place kicker. He's good on kickoffs. Now he's got a chance to show us he can spin this ball just right and give Darlington a shot to go win the ball game.
Well, there they go back to kick the ball off. It is a 21-20 game in favor of Bremen. Darlington scored, had the decision of whether to try to punch it through for the extra point and tie it up, or go for 2 and try to win the football game. 2-point conversion. They were not able to convert, and here comes the onside kick here from Brinson Sumner. So let's see if they can make some last-minute magic here. There's the kick, and it is going to be fielded by Bremen. They fall on it, do a good job with the onside kick, and that should pretty much get the win for Bremen.
Yeah, with 1 timeout left, Bremen will be able to go into the victory formation, take a knee, and melt this thing away. But what a ball game. And again, you can't fault the decision to try to win that thing with the 2-point conversion. It just didn't work out for the Darlington Tigers tonight.
And as I mentioned to you tonight, real quickly after this game, we'll award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. Won't even take a break there because we do need to get it to the Braves Radio Network. No Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show for you tonight. There is the snap, takes a knee, and we will be back with that hopefully next week. We'll just have to see what goes with this Braves run because they've definitely put together a great run, and it's provided some interesting adventures in terms of scheduling shows and things of that nature. I know we've got bumped on Northwest Georgia Sports Live quite a bit the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have, Matt, but that's okay. It's been 20 years since they were in the league championship series and even longer since they made it to the World Series, so we'll make that sacrifice.
Darlington's going to fall short tonight by a point. 21-20 is going to be your final score. We'll just play out the remaining seconds of this game here. Bremen, as you pointed out, in victory formation. They'll take a knee, and that is pretty much going to put it in the books here in just a moment. Well,
it doesn't look like Darlington's going to use their timeout.
No.
I mean, it would just be a formality to do so. Hard-fought game tonight, though, and you've got to love the guts of the Tigers coaching staff and the players to say, hey, let's go win this thing. Just came up a point short.
Well, again, we're going to have to wrap this thing up. Again, the final score tonight is a heartbreaking loss here for the Darlington Tigers, 21-20. Their record is going to fall to 4-2. Had a great non-region schedule this year. Definitely a wonderful football game tonight. Team learned a lot that they're going to take with them as they get ready for region play next week. They're going to be hosting Mount Perrin. Mount Perrin has had a very good football team in recent years, but this year they're off to an 0-5 start. And so hopefully Darlington will be able to come up big in that football game and put themselves in a good position there in region and get a region win to start region play next week. And really all they got to do to get into the playoffs is win one region game. That's not your goal, obviously, but it would be a good start if they can go ahead and lock that up coming up next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll have to get over this one. This one's going to sting a little bit. Without a doubt, but, buckle your chin straps and get ready for region play.
Well, we really haven't had an opportunity here to conference over this, but I don't want to take a break because we do need to get to the Braves Radio Network and the NLCS between the Braves and the Dodgers. Still early in that game, so we're going to have to go ahead and do something that's a little different and pick this one on the air, but we're going to pick our Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game for you tonight. And so let's talk a little bit about the options that we have.
Yeah,
here
we
tonight.
have a few options. Let's just go ahead and say Tyler Watkins played a great game on defense tonight. We called his name. Had 6 tackles, 1 sack that was huge at the end of the first half that stopped Bremen's scoring opportunity. And then Harrison Allen, who had 17 carries for 65 yards, but he also had 1 reception for 84 yards and a touchdown, so his total yards were over 150. And of course, he plays great at that linebacker position, middle linebacker position at defense. Patrick Shelley absolutely has to be considered. He accounted for 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, and he also intercepted a Bremen pass in the first half that stopped another scoring opportunity for the Blue Devils. So,
and he also had quite a few tackles in the football game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So 7 tackles for Patrick Shelley and an interception. So while there are a lot of good options, and he's won it before, I think we have to go with Patrick Shelley.
Patrick Shelley then is the winner of tonight's Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. Congratulations to them. Obviously, Darlington disappointed they didn't come up with a win, but it was a hard-fought game. It went down to the end of the game, and it was a lot of fun to watch. But Darlington loses tonight 21-20. But no reason to hang their heads for too long over this one because they battled a really, really good team tonight, and now they've got the opportunity to start region play with a 4-2 record and just, a lot of confidence in this football team and what they'll be able to accomplish throughout the rest of the season. So looking forward to next weekend against Mount Perrin as we get ready for Mitch Jordan, who obviously has ties and was a coach here at Darlington. to bring his team back to town. And the last time that Mount Perrin was here, it was a loss for the Tigers in the second round of the playoffs last year. So they're going to be ready to get the bad taste of losing this game out of their mouth, maybe get a little payback next week. So that should be fun. But we'll be back with you next week, 7 o'clock. Here from Chris Hunter Stadium, and we'll get started with our pregame. We'll have an interview with Coach Atha, talk to him about this game, talk to him about the upcoming matchup, and those sorts of things. Look forward to that. And then at 7:30, Toe meets Leather. So back here at Chris Hunter Stadium next week. Again, Darlington falls short, 21-20 to Bremen tonight in an unbelievable game. We're going to go back to the studio right now and bring you the NLCS between the Braves and the Dodgers, which is underway, and so we'll do it now. We hope that you have a great evening, everybody. Good night.